Hey everybody, good morning. It is 7:58. Good to see your friend James Shaw. Thank you for being here today. As we wrap up our Back on Track series that we've done over the last 5 days, the reason why we did this is because I asked you inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. I said, hey, are you on pace? Are you on track? Are you behind? Are you ahead of what your goal is for the year and where you thought you'd be right now? And an overwhelming majority of you said that you were behind goal. And I thought, well, it's only 60 something days in the year, so why don't we work on some strategies to get you back on track? And so we came up with five that we have covered over the last 5 days. We'll wrap it up today. And it sounds like for a lot of you, it's working. So if you're new to this or haven't seen it yet, you can go to backontrack.jamesdshaw.com. Backontrack.jamesdshaw.com. And we've just set up a YouTube playlist with all five calls. Now, Inspire Collective members, that's our private group, we have a resource guide that takes everything from the five calls, references every page we've covered in any of the books, and then goes into the Inspire Collective member portal and pulls out Inspire exclusive content that ties into those five back on track steps. So that way, when you're out working on your goals and trying to get in production and get things moving and add leads to the pipeline, you know where to find specific tools that can help you. So Inspire members, we'll get that out to you by tomorrow. Let's get after it today. I'm excited about it. We always start with something good, so let's do a few of those and then we'll jump in. Julie, you want to start us off? Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm so excited. I had our award ceremony last Friday. I'm new to KW. I'm new to real estate. It'll be my 2-year anniversary in April that I've been in real estate and with KW since July of 2023. But I was honored to be Rookie of the Year, which was awesome. And then I got the bronze Medal of Achievement for my production. So that was something I wasn't expecting either. But my pipeline is really full right now, and I have lots of buyers and sellers I'm working with. And it's because of this call that I just get up every morning inspired because of all the wonderful people that I hear from. So I just want to thank you guys.
Congratulations, Rookie of the Year. We're proud of you, Julie. Well done. Barb Whitney, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. So my something good is I'm getting on a plane today and I'm coming to Fort Myers. I've told friends for many years that we would get down to visit them, but following a lot of the information here, Thrive was great and Back on Track is amazing. I was able to go, yes, we're coming down. So I'll be down there for a week. Yay!
Safe
Warm weather.
travels to Florida. We'll look forward to seeing you down here in the Sunshine State. Carrie, you're up next. Last one. Good morning.
Good, good morning. I want to share this now that it's official. You already know, but it's in Real Producers. I did not pay to be in this magazine, so they put me in On the Rise. Um, and I'm already in it because I referenced getting on this call as one of the tips, but something that's crazy, I think, especially after just hearing Lindsay talk, is that my name is also on this list for the city with Lindsay, which is kind of wild in my first year to know that I'm on a list with people like Lindsay and whoever else from the ATL that I'm missing. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's very exciting now that it's in my hands.
We're so proud of you. And do you love that she said, I did not pay to be in this magazine? That's really good. I'm proud of you. And thanks for mentioning Pivot. She did. She mentioned Pivot and what we do in here inside that. So thank you for doing that. I'm so proud of what we've done inside this community. It was 5 years ago today, actually, that I was in Mazatlan, Mexico, doing the shift session for family reunion in Mexico. It's this, all Central American countries are gathered in Mazatlan, Mexico for family reunion. And I did a shift session. When I went upstairs, I flipped on the TV. We got one channel in English. It was CNN International. And they told us two things had happened. One, that the World Health Organization had determined that COVID-19 was a pandemic. That was 5 years ago today. And that number two, Tom Hanks had it. And I think it's fun thinking about, like, I remember where I was when I found out Tom Hanks had COVID. And I thought immediately that if Tom Hanks can get it, honestly, anybody could get it. I mean, the guy lived on an island by himself and got COVID. I mean, come on, if he can get it, anybody can get it. And that's when I reckoned, look, I thought things are going to get different. Things are going to be different. And the idea for Pivot Shift Ahead, what is this Facebook community and this call, was born over that next couple of days. And our first call was March 16th of 2020. Sunday will be our 5-year anniversary of the first call. On Monday, we're going to do a special anniversary call. And I've asked Julia Lachey to come join us because I think she can help us celebrate community. And that's what this is about, is community. And so we're going to do that on Monday, and I hope you'll join us. But one thing community does is it looks out for each other. Community rallies around one another. Community supports each other in times of difficulty. And so when I went into the Facebook group and I asked you, are you on track, behind, or ahead of goal? And so many of you said you were behind. I said, well, then this community needs to step up and help each other out. And so that's when we created this Back on Track series that we've done for free as part of our daily morning call over the last 5 days. And step one was double down on your standard. Whatever your standard is, if it's a number of daily contacts or adding leads to the pipeline or scheduling so many listing appointments a week, or if you're an Inspire member and you're using our points-based system that we introduced during our challenge. Whatever that is, if you're behind goal, double down on that standard and make sure you're getting after it. Number 2 was master your follow-up and pipeline conversion strategy. That's where we gave you the script that many of you have mentioned that has helped so many of you recently, which is the last time we talked, you told me your plan was to do blank. Is that still your plan? We've heard so many of you share examples of how that's reconnected you with people in the pipeline. On Friday, we talked about really ramping up your listing inventory, figuring out what strategies are best for you and taking listings and doubling down on those strategies so that you can really ramp up your listing inventory, because in a market like that, that's what's going to determine your success. Step 4 was yesterday, where we talked about making sure that you follow a results-oriented schedule, that you recognize that not all things matter equally, that you must work from a sense of priority, and that you get clarity around the priorities and put those things in the schedule first. So today, we'll wrap up with this. Step 5, elevate your mindset and energy and act like a top producer. Just keep your energy up, keep it high, keep your mindset right, and have the attitude of a top producer. And one thing top producers do is they're always learning. MREA, page 308. Energy matters. How energy is used also matters. Learning how we come to understand the most powerful and productive ways to use our energy matters. If you go on, it says, if you are committed to achieving big goals, you must be committed to a learning-based living. Learning is both empowering and energizing. It's about gaining new knowledge and new skills. It's about renewal, and renewal is fun. He goes on, being learning-based gives you a great advantage in business over those who are not. By default, they have less energy because they're spending more of it to do the same things you do easily. For them, ignorance is not bliss. For you, learning is leverage, and it provides you with 3 important advantages. Number 1, wisdom, knowing what to do. Number 2, competence, knowing how to do it. And number 3, foresight, knowing when to do it. So I commend you. You're a learning-based person. That's why you're here every day. Those of you who are in the Inspire Collective are absolutely committed to learning and growing and getting better and implementing systems. And that helps your energy. See, when you spend time learning, you make the rest of what you do easier because you know what to do. You don't have to think about what should I do. And in a time that you're struggling on not knowing what to do, what learning-based people do is they go to a community and ask for help on what to do. They don't hold their lack of knowledge or their questions inside and think that they're dumb or this is a stupid question. They go ask it and get help. Now here's the last part. Boy, we're still working on the mute thing. It's so fun. Here's the last part. I want to go to Shift, page 276. And I want you to think of it like this, that if we're going to elevate our mindset and our energy and act like a top producer, we have to recognize something that Gary and Dave and Jay point out in the final pages of Shift, and it's this, that you're choosing to embrace opportunity. There is opportunity right now. Even if you're behind, there's opportunity. He says, by choosing to embrace opportunity, you're choosing to shift. And whether the market forces you to choose or you simply choose to shift your business to another level, there are the right things that you need to do. He says, whether we see times full of difficulty or full of opportunity, they will most likely turn out the way we see them. And in the end, we determine our times by our choices. Our choice will either be to try to avoid them and wish they weren't true, or embrace the opportunity that's offered to us. You have a choice to make. Are you going to embrace the opportunity or not? Are you going to be learning-based or not? Are you going to keep your energy high or not? Are you going to think and act like a top producer or not? Choice is yours. Let's talk about it, Elaine. Good morning.
Good morning. So yesterday's share was to keep your energy going throughout the entire lead gen process and keep after yourself. But today I'm going to add just a little layer to your energy is the ownership. So when you're blaming yourself at the end of the day when you're tired and you didn't get a lead or you didn't get a listing, take ownership of it. Take extreme ownership of the fact that keep doing the things that you know are working. As you said, what are your result driven activities? And if you didn't do those result activities, it's your fault. You have to continually remind yourself it's no one else. It's sure we get lots of crazy stuff that happens during the day, and we have to redirect ourselves and we have to keep that energy going as a top producer.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I want to hear from people, by the way, who have not shared during this series. If you've been on this series and soaking it in, but you haven't yet contributed, I want you to raise your hand and share. You're getting a fast pass this morning. Rico, you're up next. Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on with it? So, I'm all about learning based. What I will say, I'll make it real short. What I will say is that it don't matter if you've been in the game for 60 years, 30 years, 20 years, or 5 years, or a year or 2 years like me. As long as you know the scripts and you know what to say, you will be an expert in the game. Know the area, know the words to say, learn the swag, learn how to walk, talk, and understand real estate, and you will be as good as a person that's been in the game for 60 years or 40 years.
Listen, Rico's going to take the listing from you. This guy had been selling houses very long, but he's practicing harder than just about anybody on this call. You've been in the business longer than Rico's been alive. He's going to get the listing. And he's exactly right about the importance of practice. Yesterday, I asked you inside Pivot Shift Ahead, I said, what objection has stumped you recently? And it was really interesting. Some of the objections that came up are ones that I said to Terry, I was talking to her about it. I go, this objection is 3 or 4 years old. If it's still stumping people, we have a learning issue. We have a practice issue. And then I don't know if you saw it, but in that particular thread where I asked what objection has stumped you recently, and you all listed your objections, did you see who was commenting? Did anybody notice that? Put it in the chat. Did anybody notice who jumped in without anybody asking and without anybody saying please? It was Phil M. Jones. Phil Jones, who's part of our community, who wrote the book on exactly what to say, was going in and giving you the objection handlers. And you know what I noticed about Phil's answers? They were short, they were to the point, and they were elitely effective. Rico's telling us we got to practice. Folks, we got to practice. Andrea, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning, James Shaw. I noticed that when I use your 5 o'clock protocol, if I haven't had enough activity during the day, that has almost opened up a new lead gen source time frame for me because I'm getting much more engagement. So in addition to some of the calls that I might be making to business, I find that people are after 5 o'clock ready to engage.
5 p.m. protocol is something we introduced in the Inspire Collective. Now, then we did a call late last year where a MAPS coach said, actually, I recommend a 2 p.m. protocol. I don't care what protocol you do. It doesn't matter to me. Pick a protocol, do some work. But the point is that if you haven't hit your standard, you haven't hit your contact goal, your points goal, whatever it is, by the time you get to 5 o'clock, then you've come up with a set of predetermined actions that would take you 20 minutes or less that would give you a little bit of momentum going into the next day. That's Andrea learning the play and running the play. John Tramble, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, one of the things I love about this community is it is a group full of empathetic, caring people. And when you say double down, one of the easiest things we can do is check in on our people. A lot of people are confused and angry and afraid this time of year. And we just do what we do. Reach out, see how we can help them, see what's going on in their lives. Don't even ask for business. And eventually they will say something like, hey, just so you know, if I'm hearing of anybody asking for real estate, I am telling them about you. You don't even have to bring it up because you're there to listen and see how you can help them.
90 to 95% of your database doesn't give two flips about what you do for a living. They don't care. You know why they don't care? Because they don't have a house to sell or buy, and they don't know about anybody who's looking to buy or sell. So when all you do is check out my new listing, check out my new listing, who do you know from church or work? If that's all you do all the time, there is so little value in that to the general person in your database that they tune you out. They're not into you. They don't care about you. They see you as a crazy face cream lady. You know, the person you went to high school with who you haven't talked to in 20 years, and all of a sudden she slides into your DMs going, hey, you want to buy some face cream? That's how they see you. But if you build it based on a relationship, you send them a weekly newsletter that has information about their community, highlights a local business, and finds a creative way to show off a listing. You invite them to your client events that you're doing once a quarter, and you do 5 or 6 touches around those events. You call them once a quarter and you say, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? Like, if that's the flow that you're in, that when that group moves from I don't care about you, which makes up 90 to 95% of your database, when they move from that group into the group of, hey, we need to buy a home or sell a home, or we know someone who does. When they transition from one to the other, because you've been in a flow with them throughout their life, adding value to them, they'll call you, John. And that's exactly what you're talking about. When you're in a flow with them, they will call you. But if you make it about you all the time, check out my new listing, who do you know? If that's all you ever do, they will tune you out. Juan, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning, James. So what you said made me reflect, embrace opportunity. I already put it posted by my computer. And it made me think about the last week. And embrace opportunity leads me to focus. Somebody told me, yeah, so and so in my community are thinking about selling. Oh, great! I'm gonna send them a handwritten note. Have I done it yet? No. What am I lacking? Focus. Focus on those activities, right? That's the extra things that are gonna make you get to that agreement or that, listing or buyer. So thank you, James.
You got it. Now just go write the note. Like, hang up on the call right now and go write your notes, Juan. You don't need any more stuff on this. Go write some notes. Tanya, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning, James. Tanya Nicholas from Houston. In my mind, I'm just thinking what you're saying all week. You have to go after listings. You have to go after listings. So I go after expired. So I've been talking to the son. He said I had to meet his father. They're actually independent builders in Houston. But only thing I can do is study my conversation and study that area because they're new construction. I knew every stat. I printed every stat. I could tell him everything. And the father was a little hesitant, and then he warmed up. And I thank God I got both the listings. So like you said, I know we're learning based. This community has just been amazing to me. So I thank you.
And I'm proud of you. I think the question is, are you learning for knowing or learning for earning? I think this is a question that those of you on this call need to ask. Do you get on here every day because you're more into infotainment than anything else? Or do you get on because you want to implement? There are 2 types of people that get on this call: learning for knowing or learning for earning. Which are you? At some point, you need to earn. Kathy Cobb, you're next. Good morning. Kathy Cobb, hello. All right, she's not there. Let's go to Shirley Robinson. Good morning.
Good morning, James. What stood out to me on page 276, we determine the times by our choices. So it's up to me. I can't control how many people are buying and selling, but I can control how many people I will get in front of. I can't control who chooses to hire me, but I can control being in scripts, getting my conversations under control. So I get to determine.
And that's why we say all the time, focus on the things you can control. You control how many dials you make if you're making calls. You control what you say on those calls. You control how often you're in communication with the people in your database. You control what you send them, what you talk to them about. You control whether or not you practice objection handlers or not. You control whether or not you have a listing presentation that works. You control whether or not you know what's going on in your market area. I'll go back to one. You control where you put your focus. I don't think we struggle with, I don't think, when people say I'm not focused, I disagree with that. I think we are focused. The question is, where is your focus? Is it on something that's moving you forward or something that's holding you back? So when you say, I have trouble getting focused, that's not true. You actually don't have any trouble at all getting focused. The question is, where is it? Is it focused on something that's moving you forward or not? So as we wrap up this series, and I trust it's been helpful, and I'd love for you to put some ahas in the chat. I want to remind you, here's the 5 steps for you to get back on track. Number 1, double down on your standard. Whatever your standard is, double down on that. Number 2, master your follow-up systems and make sure you're converting your pipeline. Again, that's where we taught you the text or call or however you want to use it. The last time we talked, you said your plan was to do blank. Is that still your plan? Number 3, ramp up your listing inventory. Whatever it takes to get the listing inventory up matters. That means you're going to have to overcome objections. You're going to have to try strategies you haven't tried before, but ramp up your listing inventory. Number 4, implement a results-oriented schedule. In other words, work from a sense of priority. Are you doing the right things at the right time? And then number 5, keep your energy high, keep your mindset right, and think and act like a top producer. Now, I hope this has been helpful to you. We'll get some ahas and takeaways from it tomorrow, but I just think if these are 5 simple ways to make sure that you're on track for your goals. Inspire members, we will see you this afternoon at noon Eastern. We're doing a session with Amanda El-Hassan on social media. She took her business from 10 million to 50 million by being extremely purposeful, but with what she's doing on Instagram. She's going to teach you the playbook on how to pull that off. So Inspire members, that's at noon Eastern today. Everybody else, we're back and better than ever tomorrow. Thanks for being here. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. Bye, everybody.
Great job, James.
Thanks,
Thank you.
James.